Good afternoon. My name is Mark Knowles again with Gov Directions. We're here today with Gov School. This is the second in a series that we're doing this summer for entrepreneurs with a focus in on veteran-owned small businesses. Today we're going to have with us Dr. Cynthia Harper. Dr. Harper is a woman-owned business head for C. Harper Services Enterprise. She's based here in Atlanta, Georgia. Her company provides medical supplies, staffing, recruiting, training, and professional speaking to federal agencies, state and local facilities, and private hospitals. And she has extensive experience as an entrepreneur, and we are thankful for that. And she shares her experience with us. She has more than 30 years, in fact, with information technology staff augmentation, where she serves some of the country's largest corporate companies. She holds certificates in certified capture management, certified federal contracts professional, certified life coach, and certified instructor training. And what I'm going to do today is release the screen here, and Dr. Harper is going to give us an overview of capability statements. And let me do that now. Hey, Cynthia, how are you doing today?
I am absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I just realized I didn't have my video on. I'll just wave at everybody and I'll get off. You're here. And I haven't shaved today, so I'm a little embarrassed. But it's, we're here with this.
Uh-oh.
It's raining where you're at right now. It's been pouring over here. So
no, it's not. But it looks like it's about to go down any minute now. It looks as though it's ready to drop, the sky to drop out.
So I'll let everybody know if we have any technical issues, stay on this channel. We'll be right back. Occasionally that does happen with power going out or something like that. So here we are, and I'll turn this over to you. You should have the ability. Let me just make sure you can share the screen.
Okay.
Looks good. Should be able to do that.
Okay. Let's see here. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I have. Oh, there it goes. Wait, wrong button. There it goes. Okay, now try that again. Here we go.
Let's see. Let's go back in here again.
This is a live session, folks. So we have these.
It is certainly a pleasure to be with you all. Let's see. Can we pull up this screen and we can move forward? How's everybody doing on this beautiful summer day? Uh-oh, we're quiet today. That's okay.
They do have their mutes automatically on, and so they may be talking to you, but in a mute capacity.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Share screen, and there we go. All right, friends. Is you guys doing okay this afternoon?
Yeah, great.
That's good. Good to know that. Good to know that. Well, I'm excited to be with you again. It's always my pleasure to spend some time with the maestro, which is Mr. Mark Knowles. He knows all there is to know about government contracts. And so I can learn and sit and glean at his feet because he's so brilliant at what he does. We're just going to talk about capability statements and the value of capability statements and what do they mean to a small company? Well, you ask me and I'll tell you they mean a whole lot and how important they really are. They're very important. And so in order for you to be successful in the government market, just like when you're looking for a job, you need a really good resume. One needs an excellent capability statement to represent the company and who they are. And so as you can see here, we help you at C. Harper Services to create an award-winning capability statement. We want you to know, we want the companies that you are going after to understand that you are qualified to do the job. And so what is a capability? Does anyone know what the capability statement is? Let me go back. Does anyone know what a capability statement is? Okay. Well, basically that's it in a nutshell. It's a concise one-page document of your business competencies. And what it does is it purposes to provide specific information that will convince potential customers to do business with you. It's your business resume. It is what you need because in the government market, they don't do a lot of fancy 3-ply folds and things like that. They use a one-page capability statement. It is a one-page document and it gives your business competencies. It's your codes, all the things that it takes to be identified in the business market. What it's not? Well, it's not a brochure, that's for sure. It's not a brochure at all. They don't need all of the fancies of a brochure. That's too much for them to read because just like yourself, there are probably at least three to 400 people or more that are vying for the same opportunity that you are. So they need a quick read that they can understand. It's very important that we understand that it's not a 10-page marketing packet. It's not a flyer coupon. It's not a PPT. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It is a precise document that talks about what that agency is looking for to fulfill the needs of your company. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it does need to be organized and neatly done. And so what do you need? Why do you need a capability statement? Well, it allows the government to know that you speak and understand the language. You've done the research. What it will do is it teaches the government that you understand how to market in their arena. It's a little different than marketing in the government market as it is working in a corporate environment. Though many large corporate giants now have entered into the federal arena, they understand capability statements because now they are forced to use them as well. So it speaks procurement language. It speaks the language that they understand. Your different codes, share with them the knowledge that you need, that you understand. The benefits of a capability store, well, it opens the door easier for you. It certainly, it really opens the door easier for you. It creates access to start building a relationship. And let me tell you what I mean by that. A capability statement is a document that most of us that's in the government market, we keep that with us at all times. We never know when we're running into a fellow company that's sharing very similar skills or someone that needs the skills that you offer to be a partner with them. You learn to, in the government market, to be very collaborative, very, very collaborative. And so the benefits of it is it creates access for you. It allows the government buyers to believe that you speak their language, and it addresses the specific needs of the buyer. And then what you want to do is you want to entice the agency buyer to consider you. Why do you need that? Because in the government market, the most relevant thing is that you have a relationship with the contracting officer. Again, they work with people that they know can supply their needs. And so because you might be new coming into the industry, your stuff needs to be absolutely pinpoint precision, ready to go, ready for the sale. And it leads to more contracts. Even if you don't suffice for that contract and they don't choose you, they've seen your work. They understand that you understand what it is to do business in the federal space. So it can help you win more contracts. That's what it can actually do for you. But a bad or no capability statement, if you are attending any events whatsoever dealing with the federal space, you never know who's going to ask you for your CAPE statement. For an example, we have what we consider industry days, where certain agencies will allow and put together a conference, and they would allow us to come together to talk about the business at hand that their agency is working with and who they buy for. If you're in the room and you can't provide a capability statement, it speaks to them that you're not a real player. You don't understand what you're doing. So what it does is it slams the doors on you. It truly slams the doors on you. It also, it proves that you just don't understand the lingo, and it proves that you don't understand the federal market. And what we don't want them to think is, if I grant XYZ or C Harper a contract and she does not understand that she needs a capability statement, she's not going to fulfill what we're looking for. So it's really important that you have one. You look risky or weak if you don't have one. And it kills your credibility for first impressions. Because I always tell my clients this: with a capability statement, your job is to know it without even looking at it. You need to understand your prominent NACE codes. You need to understand what it says. While they're reading it, you have the ability to recite it. Mark, you like to say anything about bad or no capability statements?
Only to say that, as you mentioned, it is the opening for your company to the door of opportunity for any government. You really do have to, and over again, you see that now they want that before they won't even allow you to bid on something in certain communities. So they want to see that on file first. Another thing is, when you're not speaking the lingo, as you mentioned, of the government, it does send a signal that, you're not quite ready.
You're
I've
not
seen
quite
some
ready.
just the other day where it has a Gmail instead of the actual, you'll talk about some of these things in a minute, but
Mhm.
it really does send a message that there sort of really are startups. And then if they don't have any past performance as well, or any references listed, sort of a double whammy. So I think getting that ready first, and as a good document for your company to help sell your company, can overcome some of the other obstacles that you might find when you first start out.
Absolutely. So there are different versions, friends, of a capability statement. You might have one for an RFI, which is a request for information, or RFP, request for a proposal to actually bid on the position. And let me say this to you all. There is a difference in a bid and a grant. And oftentimes when I'm working with people, they say, but the government's giving out a grant, but that's not what you need a capability statement for. Grants are free money for services that the government is looking to fulfill, which is different. Capability statements represent a bid for something that an agency within the federal space is writing for. So sometimes they'll ask you for a version for just request for information. And all they're doing is just getting information from you. Then they might be looking for one for request for a proposal. So you need to understand that. It could be for sources sought. So there are several different versions, but we like to keep it simplified, that a one-page document is very important for you to have. Any questions? Oh, someone's talking. Oh, sorry. Okay. So the first thing they're going to say is, can you send me a capability statement in some form or another? Well, so we want to make sure that it's targeted. This is a door opener, this general capability statement, and their sources sought. Now, it's real important that you understand that the overview version has to be high level, very neatly done, very simple, but colorful enough to get their attention, a high level version of it. Very broad in nature with multiple service areas, really important. That it has the industry NACE codes. You understand what the NACE codes are. Those are your government identifiers within the space. It's good for general marketing purposes at events. So you need to make sure that when you're at the events, as we talked about earlier, whether it's something with the SBA, whether it's something with a said agency, or even a large company who's looking for smaller companies to partner with, the first thing they want to see, they're not going to ask you for a teaming agreement or any type of agreement. They're going to see, what is your capabilities? How do your capabilities work along with what we have and what we're looking for? And then there's specific things. You might be asked, okay, we want to have specifically, what did you do in the area of logistics? How did you do it? How many people were involved in that? And that's different. And that's why they can be changed. They're just like resumes. They can be changed, updated, deleted, and things of that nature. And again, when you are preparing a capability statement, and this is what I tell people, some people think that I can sell the government anything. Well, they're not looking for someone that can be a jack of all trades. They're looking for a company, and I'd really like for Mark to speak to this. They're looking for a company who is professional and niche focused at the area that they need. Mark, am I, and I'm true in saying that.
Oh, you're definitely right. I mean, they don't want to waste their time on individuals or companies that don't match up to them. And so that's why, when you say here targeted, they're looking at specific codes, the NIGB commodity code,
Mhm.
the NAICS code. I think you'll cover those.
Mhm.
They want keyword functionality that you match them some way. I'll show one in just a minute, the source of saltware and actually how they collect information from the companies in just a minute.
Mhm. And so, and then they want effective style. It's because it needs to be, their scent is fragmented. They need to see the effective style of your capability statement. So there are different versions, but we want to make sure that we target the versions that that are attractive for what that agency is looking for. So let's talk about your codes. This is the making of a capability statement, your codes. As Mark was talking about, the NIGP codes, the SIC, the SIC codes, the PSC codes, the NACE codes. Well, here we are. Here are the codes. We know that the NACE codes, and they've done an excellent job lately in going in and clearing up how the NACE codes are done and how easily they make it for you to find your NACE codes. The PSC codes, there are one specific place where you need to get all of these different codes, but all of these codes are registered on your capability statement. The SIC code, the NIGBP code, the CAGE code. The CAGE code is formulated once you start registering your business with SAM. The DUNS number, understanding that you have to have a federal DUNS number to represent your capability statement. And with the DUNS number, it shows what area you registered your business in, and the numbers are clumped in the first two mean this, and the second two mean that, and the last two mean this, and the next two mean that. So they understand where you came from and what that means and how it works, okay? And then they want your certifications, whether you ADA, VSOB, which is veteran-owned small business, small disadvantaged veteran-owned small business, economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, HubZone, SBD, WBE, MBE, or DBE. All of the certifications are very important. And if you're fortunate enough to have contract vehicles, it's really important that those are listed on, those codes are listed on your capability statement. And these are vehicles that the government use to classify and identify certain things. They know that if you're on the GSA schedule, you're selling to the federal space already. They understand if it's a MATOC. They understand if it's an IDIQ, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity. It's a continuing on process. So that's why the codes are so important for you to have. So there are 6 C's of your capability statement. Of course, there's the code, the first one, just the codes, and then the core competencies, the company data, the corporate expertise and differentiators. What is it about you that differentiates you? Your past clients, customers, your past performance, and then proper contact information. All of those things are very important on your capability statement. Again, they're looking for an easy read that's fragmented, that they can and will be able to identify you as a player for what they're looking for. Let's talk about your core. For those of us who work out, we talk about our core. If your core is strong, then your whole body is strong. So the core competencies of your capability statement, what are the services and products that you offer? What are those core items that agency might need that you're offering? And then how you use bullet points. It's not long paragraph sentences. They're not, it's not a diatribe of all this fancy reading. It's bulleted so that they can read it. It's short sentence fragments. It's not a very long narrative, and it's a select key offering. And what's really important is that you relate your offerings, again, I can't stop saying this, to meet the needs of the agency that you're trying to court. That's very, very important, very important. The company data. Let's talk about your company data, your executive summary, pretty much. The history of your company. When were you founded? The year, how many years you've been around, the size of the firm. These things are pertinent because they let them know that even if you've not done business in the federal space, your company is doing business somewhere, or the key individuals in the company, if they've come from a major corporation, so they understand HR principles, they understand accounting principles, they understand shipping and receiving and things like that. Have you ever had a partner, a team, or JV, a joint venture? All these things are part of your company data. They help to identify, okay, well, this company's been around, and even if you've been around a short time, the pertinent part of it is the history of the professionals within that organization that you've done business somewhere. And even if you've not done business a lot of places, because of your past experience, you've probably done it in a corporate setting or in another setting. Let's talk about your corporate expertise and differentiators. Listen, the competition is thick, and there are a lot of people putting their hat in the government market. And so what they want to see is a summary of your company's expertise, a summary of it, special knowledge, abilities, and training, skills or technical expertise, the technologies or patented techniques that your company might have. Maybe some of the industry certifications, the CMMI or the PMP or, LEED or Lean, the ITIL. What is it that makes your company stand out, that the agency needs, that you need to actually stand out? Do you have a quality standard, an ISO? Are you financially stable? What about your bonding capability if you are capacity, if you are doing real estate, if you're doing construction or things of that nature? So all of those things are important. That's what separates you. And that's what they're looking for, the players that separate themselves from the norm. And then who's your client and customers? This section title is your past performance. It doesn't mean that you can't do it because you haven't provided those services thus far for the government. But what it does is your past performance. Where did you perform this at? Where did you garner this language from, this knowledge? What clients or customers have you done this with? And then you select from the government customers first. If you've been fortunate enough to have done business, because sometimes we get fortunate enough to be handed a contract. I remember the first contract that I received, and it was during 2020, I provided PPE for a large government agency who bought for the military. So for me, it's because I knew someone and they had done business with me, they referred me. Well, now I have that on my capability statement. And then this is key. List the customers that are most similar with the agencies that you are marketing to. And you can include reference names, company info, size of projects, and things of that nature. But this is your client, your past performance is really important. Just because you haven't done it for a certain agency, it does not mean that you cannot execute these and perform at an excellent level.
And Cynthia, I would echo that, because that's probably the number one question I think you and I both receive.
Yes.
Is especially right now where we're one of the largest periods of entrepreneurs entering the marketplace in American history. And not only that, for service disabled or small businesses or veteran-owned small businesses that are out there, and other traditional women-owned small businesses, and just total small business in general. A lot of us are small. We know that coming into it. The government knows that coming into it. And so those three sections, the last three that you talked about there, they sort of go hand in hand. If one of them, don't leave any of those blank. You need to put information in all of them. Sell yourself. This is a selling process. But in certain parts, you may not have past performance. For example, with some contracts that you won, well, I might want to expand on my corporate expertise in a little bit larger area of my statement. And then I might drive in, if I haven't won a contract yet, surely, and there's a reason why I started my own company. It's because I've done something with somebody else potentially in the past. Drive that data in. Don't skip over a section because you don't think you have enough data to enhance it. I think it's going in there and giving and searching reviewing your company, make sure you've got everything that you need to put in there, and you will do it'll be a better document there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And though this is the last, we know we always say save the best for last. I really, really, really want to drive a point here. Your company name and logo is very important, very, very important. I need you to understand, they're looking at that, okay? The points of contact, make sure that the points of contact are relevant and they are the person that is really in charge that you can contact. Your address, don't use in fact, I almost lost the contract because I listed a post office box. And let me tell you what they did. They went in with a Google search and they discovered, and we had an office, but we were using a post office box. And the first thing he said to me is, we're looking for someone to sell PPE, not someone to be working out of their kitchen sink. So make sure that you use an address. And now you can get addresses actually with the federal from the post office that are physical addresses that will help your company out. Your phone number, make sure that your phone number is updated and it's listed properly and the numbers are correct. The fax, of course, and then I don't know, some people still use fax machines and then some don't. But that's important as well. Your website, and make sure the website's updated. Make sure that the website is totally representing what your company is. And go in if you've made some sales, or if you've increased, or you've enlarged what you've done, what you're offering, then I'd like very much for you to go in and list that. It's a working document. Everything that you do has the ability to be a working document. And this is last but not least, your email address. Be careful that it doesn't say really cute girl at hotmail.com. And people have done things like that. And though it was funny for a moment, it's not funny when you're representing or presenting it to a federal agency. And make sure that it has C. Harper Services, C. Harper at charperservices.com. Once you reserve your website and you get your email addresses, then when you set up all of that, the person who is doing all of those technical things for you, it's imperative that they give you a proper email address so that you're represented well. And that's the basics of having a capability statement. It's imperative that we have one. And these are the basics, friends.
So what I'll do is, as everybody's thinking about questions, I want to echo a couple of things as well. You mentioned the website and the website address. On your capability statement, make sure it's an SSL. It's HTTPS.
Yes.
So some governments are not going to be able to reach you if it's not secure at this point, and that's going to probably be a problem in the future. So make sure you've got a secure socket layer address, SSL. It's an easy upgrade with a service like GoDaddy or Squarespace. Not that complicated. In addition, make your site, your capability statement interactive. Okay, so that you have links on your capability statement. So somebody, when you email it to them, or like I pushed in one that we have for ourselves here, you can drop in with key links to talk about your product. You can do videos. I know on your website, Cynthia, you use videos to tell your story.
Sure.
Those are easy enough to do, and it's almost like you're standing in front of that government agency getting ready to pitch your product, even a practice pitch or a sample RFP to hire you, the specs they need. These are things that you can't incorporate in a fully in your capability statement, but you can link to them somewhere, and you can make it your document interactive. And I think more and more they're expecting us to do that. Technology is just taking us to a whole different level. And I would point out, I think Cynthia mentioned this too, have that document when you go to a, like I dropped it in here in this chat box, have a document ready to go for any kind of session that you might be on with the government, either online or if you're in person. More of us are going back and having in-person meetings, and we're carrying that with us, either through giving someone a piece of paper with it on there, or having your capabilities on a drive of some sort, but you're getting that information to those individuals. And I was just going to point out on our website, let me maybe you can release that share.
Okay. Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
You'll see that, when we link to various sites, this is where you're going to want to watch out. For example, Cynthia mentioned requests for information. This is when they're doing like a source assault of some sort, or a request for qualifications, or other documents that they're looking for to make sure that they know who can provide the services. And now they just kind of expect you to have the document. Okay, so they want you to submit this at their vendor fairs when they have that. Either this one here is going to be a virtual one. They want to ask you to have that ready to go tomorrow. Actually, this one was today at 12:30 Eastern time, where customers who have an interest have to give that document to them and have it ready to go. So it's imperative that you have a capability statement at this point. If you're you're trying to reach a business, governments are doing business with the government. So how about questions? I see one here as a review. Where do you place your capability statement? I'm sorry.
What was the question?
My vision is a little, okay. A central location other than having a hard electronic copy. I list ours under my email address. Anytime I'm emailing someone, I'll just link to our capability statement. In addition, I'll have it on my LinkedIn page so that they can download it. Also have it on our website so they can download it. And then I have a printout version. I have one sitting in the corner of my desk right now where I can actually go in have that available or mail it to somebody if I need to. So you want to use this. It's almost better than a business card. Anytime you're going in to do business with somebody, you're passing along that document. But
also, Mark, can I share with them in terms of your capability statement? On your website, there should be a government tab. And within the government tab, you should have a capability video, a capability briefing, and a capability statement. And let me tell you why. The video is no more than 2 minutes. The capability is downloadable, because sometimes agencies will go to your website and they want to download it. And then of course you need a PowerPoint presentation. That's for briefings when they say, oh, we like them, come in and brief with us. That's the information you'll be sharing with them. So always have a link on a government page link on your website.
And as we wait for questions, I would share that, there are versions, we can come onto GovDirection's site and you can look at our services here, but we link to, I believe it's here, Cynthia is someone who can assist you with this. Traditionally, it's about a $400 rate. That is a very affordable rate to have someone walk you through the process and have that prepared. Comparably speaking, it's probably $1,200 to $2,000 somewhere else. Okay, so we as a company have worked with Cynthia, and she does this for our clients. And I would encourage you to reach out to us. You can just actually purchase it online or call us, and we'll put you in contact with Cynthia to work with her directly. We understand the importance of it. In addition, if you do purchase an annual subscription with us, we actually will fund that entirely and give that product to you, and we'll have Cynthia work with you. But we want an annual commitment for that type of service to provide to you for our membership. But you can give Dell a call or anybody in the office a call to ask about that. Any final questions? So this is the second of a series, and next Wednesday we'll come back as the entrepreneur group and be prepared to hopefully go have that capability statement done, or you're in the process of getting it done, and you're going to talk about branding and what you've learned about branding through Dr. Harper. And Chris Hanks, our entrepreneur in residence, is going to help you with questions that you might have and continue that, that goal setting with you to help you get to that point where you can grow your business or win that first contract before the end of the summer. And then next Thursday, we're going to have a session on teaming. And Danielle Miller is going to lead that, and that will be posted here at the exact same time, and it will be online here shortly, so you can just link through to this special link. Okay. Any final questions? Cynthia, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing this for us and how valued we appreciate your services to our customers. No one can help you with a capability statement like Cynthia can. So I'll just echo that.
Thank you, Mark, for being able to be trained and learned by the best, which is you.
She is really nice to me. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.